Alright, so what I want to do here is demonstrate the practice mode CSGO server plugin. It is open source, so you can install it on your server however you want. And there's 5 features I want to show in this, okay? So the first is the .setup menu. Anyone that's used a ESEA scrim server will recognize a menu that looks like this. In this one you can hit start practice mode, and then you have a bunch of settings. Change SV cheats, respawning, ammo, infinite money, all types of stuff. Pretty much everything you would see on a ESEA scrim server, but more. Alright. So next up would be the grenade commands. So the second thing I want to show is the grenade commands. This is actually the original reason why I wrote this plugin. So let's say I want to learn how to smoke sandwich. I couldn't find a tutorial online, maybe it's a new map or whatever. So I'm going to guess this. If I follow it, see, this is pretty close, but I kind of hit the train and there's this big ass gap. So what I can do is I can type .back and it'll take me exactly where I threw it. So I don't have to remember. I can just type .back and make a small adjustment. Maybe this will work better. So I can try that. Can press a no clip bind and follow it. And I see, yeah, it's a lot better. Type .back and I can stare at this for a while and love it. Alright, next I want to show how you can save grenade positions. This is very useful for, say, teaching teammates smokes and just having like your own database of the things that you're trying to remember. So let's say I want to do the 3 outside smokes here. It's very common execute on train. You do 1 smoke on the left, 1 on the right, and 1 in the middle. These 3. So I want to teach my team these 3 smokes. So one way to do it is that I can save them on the server. So let me show you. First I'm going to do the left bomb smoke. I'm not really trying to show how to do the smokes, I'm just demonstrating the tool here. So this is how I do it. I'm going to make sure it works first. Yep, that's perfect. Type .back, and now I can save it. So I'm going to type the left bomb smoke. Outside. So that's 1. Next I'm going to do the middle bomb smoke, which I do on this line, where I jump through on the pool. Make sure it works, perfect. .back and I can save it. Middle bomb smoke outside. And because I had to do a jump throw, I want to make a note of that so we can add a description. Next up would be the right side bomb smoke, which is very easy. Make sure it works again. Perfect. Save right bomb smoke outside. And the same thing, I can add a description so people know what to jump through. So after I've saved all these, you can type .nades, click a player, and you'll see all these nades here. And if you hit the button on the menu, like 1, 2, or 3, it'll take you exactly to that smoke. It'll print the description in chat, as you can see. So I can tell my teammate when he joins the server, hey, you need to learn ID number 2. So they type goto sploose 2. And it'll take them exactly to the spot. They don't have to spectate you throwing it. They can just type that and see exactly on their settings how everything looks and learn it at their own pace. And you don't have to be there at all. So that helps a lot with learning smokes. Restart. Next feature I want to talk about is the .flash feature. And to demonstrate this, I want to talk about enter on train. A very common spot a lot of players will play, especially earlier on, is they'll play down here and they'll just spot. They'll spot for you to cross. Some will even do it with a nade out, and if they see people, they'll just release it. And even more dangerous players will, sometimes you'll see Nico on mouse forward just constantly off this. So it's very dangerous just to cross this dry. So one way to deal with that is to pre-flash it. So we're going to demonstrate this. This is a spot I want to try to flash, so I'm going to type .flash at it. Now I'm going to show a flash gob B on mouse sports will throw. See, he goes up to this AC, in front of the crack units, in front of the crack on the floor. He throws it like this. Now when I release this, it'll teleport me back to that lower spot, and it'll blind me, if I did it right. And it's perfect. So by doing this, I was able to see that the flash was effective. I can see that it took 4.3 seconds of blindness, And I could do it all by my own. I didn't have to ask a teammate to come in here and stand here or any of that. So I was able to test it on my own. And to demonstrate again, I'll show if there's an upper peeking upper, will the flash work on him too? Let's find out. So I type dot flash again, type dot back to go to save flash, and we'll try again, okay? And I can see the upper gets fairly blind, 3.6 seconds. That's enough to get him off, to have your upper post up on it, or to molly it if you're doing that. The last feature I want to demonstrate here is about timings and spawns. So a common thing on train is picking upper as a CT. If you get to spawn back here, you're able to run up here and peek all the way into upper. So one way to test this is to go to the close to upper and type dot spawn. This will take you to the closest CT spawn. So this is the upper one. Similarly, I could type dot best spawn, and it'll take me to my closest spawn. I could even type dot worst spawn, and it'll give me the worst case spawn here. I can also type spawn 1, spawn 2, and I can just look at them all, so I can learn the spawns. But in this case, I want to test the best one. So I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to go to the closest one. Alright, now I'm going to run a timer. I'm going to type this, and when I start moving, it'll start at the clock. And it'll stop when I stop moving. So let's do that. And what I'm testing here is the time it takes for me to peek into Whitehall's here. Alright, so it took just over 14 seconds. Now let's compare this with the T timing. So I can switch to the terrorist team. Now I'm going to use the best spawn to do this. So I'm doing pretty well at time. I have 14 seconds again. So I could even jump all the way down, molly this, and hide. And I would still have had time. So that tells you if you have the best spawn on here, you can easily molly this and be ready to peek this with your teammate's flash that I demonstrated earlier. But what if you have the worst spawn? Can you still do that same thing? Let's find out. So I happen to know the worst spawn will be way back here. Then I can type dot spawn and it'll take me to the closest one again. So let's do the same test. Dot timer. I'm going to run toward Boxhalls and try to molly upper. I fucked it up. Worst spawn. Timer, there we go. So the timer stops when you stop moving. So I accidentally let go there. So I'm running all the way down. 14 seconds is the magic number here. Can molly and I can hide. So again, this tells me I could easily have time as long as I, don't just rush right here or rush this spot. What you should do is you should molly this and wait a few seconds. And you'll just neutralize the upper up here at the start of every round.